everyone for joining us this lovely evening. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Annie, for giving me this opportunity once again to facilitate another episode of Thriving Beyond the Label. So, today we will be talking about building stronger families, and we've got our special guests here with us this evening. I'm going to be introducing her briefly. We've got Jumoke Akintunde. She is a certified coach whose mission is to impact both Christians and non Christians through compassion, outreach, teaching, and sharing her own story. She's also a mother, she's a wife, and she's the author of From Silence to Story, the power of sharing your own story. We are so delighted and glad to have you here this evening. And thank you. You're not a stranger, you're one of us within the community. So that makes this episode really special. Thank you very much for coming to share your story with us. My name is Blessing Abila. I'm a parents coach. I'm a social worker. I'm a family and children's advocate. I'm also an advocate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, funny enough. That sounds strange now because I haven't been to the Supreme Court, so I haven't practiced in a long while, over 15 years. But that's part of who I am. I'm also a mom. I'm a wife. I'm raising a son and I'm raising two daughters, and I've got my husband who is also like a fourth child to me. So that's me in a nutshell. So welcome, Jumoke, and welcome everyone else for joining us today. So, before we go into our discussions for this evening, I'd like to encourage all of us to drop our emails if you want a copy of our book. Like I said, Jumoke is an author of From Silence to Story. So, if you would like a copy of her book, please drop your email in the chat, and our convener will reach out to you in terms of that. So, now let's go into the nitty gritty of this evening. Please, Jumoke, tell us a bit about yourself because I know you're a parent, you're a wife. Tell us a bit about your journey towards supporting your son.
Oh, lovely. I think mainly it's been an interesting journey. It's been quite revealing. It has just been God on our side. If it had not been by the grace and mercy of God, it would have been another ball game entirely. So it's been a journey of faith, resilience, and when I say resilience, it's just facing challenges with strength and determination. It's been a journey of growth because we're all evolving together, understanding our precious gem, and it's been a journey of huge experience. It's been a journey of advocacy where we stand up for Demi, for his needs and for his right. Uh, it's been a journey of really discovering ourselves, discovering Damien, learning new perspectives, celebrating his uniqueness, and also it's been a journey of patience where we're embracing every progress at his own pace, not at the pace of the world, but at his own pace. And also, it's been a journey of protection, creating a safe place for him, nurturing environment for him. And it's also been filled with joy. When we say joy, you know what? Just cherishing every victory, every win, and also an opportunity for connection of really understanding a and it's been an insightful journey, helping us to deepen one another's awareness of autism, awareness of ADHD, and also his learning capacity, and also really understanding what the neurodiverse world is all about. And it's been a journey of adapting, adjusting our routines, our expectations, and unconditional love. I think I was in the pool this morning. I even took him to the pool. It took me seconds to climb, to get down the stairs. It took Jamie 32 minutes to even put his leg in the water. So you could imagine a neurotypical child, a neurodiverse child. It's just understanding, evolving, and that unconditional love. Where you may not be able to pay me back, you may be able to in the future, but it's unconditional. So it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing.
Amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that. I love how you say it's been a journey of joy because we need to find joy in every situation, every circumstances. There is some atom of joy in it. I also love how you say it's been a journey of learning at his own pace. So you're not going at your pace, you're not going at the pace of the other children within the home. It's been a journey of learning at his own pace. That's remarkable. That's inclusive. I really love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I also like to find out what has helped your family to stay connected through challenging times. Because I know even in all the joys and all the laughters and learning, there would be some difficult times, some tough times. What has helped you to stay connected with your family, with your other children, and everyone together throughout this period?
Oh, I think I would say for us, it's been a strong family. But when we talk about a strong family, it doesn't mean that we're a perfect family, but it's been one that has been built on resilience. It's been unconditional love, the siblings, the dad, myself, extended families, the church community, just loving him. But most importantly, us as a family, loving him unconditionally, unwavering support for him. And it's not, as I said earlier on, it's not about perfection. Please, we're not a perfect family. So though some people see us like, oh, they are perfect up there. But even in our imperfection, we've been able to grow together. We show up and we adapt and we grow together. And another main thing as a family, maybe not one, quite a few, is the unconditional love. Just accepting Jimmy for who he is. We accept him fully, we celebrate his uniqueness, and will never let challenges define his worth. He is Jamie, irrespective of who he is. He's got some uniqueness. He could whistle from afar. When he whistles, I know that is my Jamie in the crowd. And I can't whistle. I'm neurotypical, yes, I'm the mom, but I can't whistle. Demi is unique. So in that, we give him unconditional love. It's a family built on empathy and patience. Understanding that progress may look different and being gentle with each other through setbacks and triumphs. We've had our fair share of victories, we've had our setbacks, and it's a family whereby open communication is key. We create a safe space where 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 we express our feelings, our frustration, our hope. Is it that we don't get frustrated? Oh, we do. Is it that we don't feel overwhelmed? We do. But just being the family just being a safe place where we can express ourselves without being judged. The world out there is ready to judge you, but at home, we don't judge one another. Just bring it on and we'll talk about it. We'll learn together. We seek knowledge about baby's condition. It's an evolving process. We're always learning. We're always going for different therapies. We go for different strategies and anything to support him, any technology, anything to support Demi, and also to support the siblings. Did someone, okay, yeah, I thought someone wanted to. Then we celebrate small wins. We find the joy in every milestones that others will overlook. It may not be a biggie for you, but it's a big deal for us. And recognizing the courage it takes to reach those milestones in the pool this morning. I'm saying it this because this one was just fresh. It was just fresh. When he entered it, people were there, but I clapped. I gave him thumbs up because it was a big deal to me. But when I even clapped, the amazing thing was that people that were watching, I didn't even know they were watching. Everybody just clapped for him. But if you don't celebrate him, although it may not be a big gift for those that even joined in the clapping. If I went the clapping happened, some people were like, what's happening here? But anyway, we celebrate small wins and we advocate. We are always navigating the system, the healthcare, education, social services. I'm glad you're a social worker. So we ensure he gets what's in it. We are his voice and we shout when we need to shout. We insist and make sure we get things done and we adapt. Adaptability is very key for us as a family. So we adjust our routines. We even adjust some timelines. We adjust expectations and plan to meet all the children as they're evolving. Even the siblings, they're evolving. Jamie is evolving and will learn to just adapt. And as a family, we share responsibilities because it can be a lot for just us, the parents. The siblings always are always there. We share responsibilities, supporting one another, whether between us, the parents, the siblings, or even extended family. So that is very important for us as a family.
Thank you very much, Jumoke. I love how you've mentioned unconditional love about 4 times. So to me, that sounds like a key value or like a key item within your family. And I really love that you shared that with us because I think that every home should be able to embrace that sort of love, unconditional love, it's terrific. Thank you very much. You also said something about strong family, and that brings us back to our topic for today because we're talking about building strong families within this context of raising a child with additional needs. What does that actually mean? Because you didn't spell it out, but you mentioned strong family not being a perfect family. So what does it mean in this context of raising a child with additional needs?
Uh, Mainly raising a child with additional needs. And in a strong family, it's really in the context of the family has to even be a safe place for the child. Because if it's not safe, the child can grow well in it. And as I mentioned earlier on, it's just celebrating everybody's uniqueness. Every child is unique. I think comparing a child with one another or even external children is a is is a robber. By robber, I mean by a thief. It steals the joy of that child because every child is unique. I've got three amazing children. They are three of them are unique. Their faces it's unique. Their faces are unique. Their characters, their personalities, it's unique. So to now compare the first child with the second child, only to Lola, or to compare to Demi, the two extremes that cannot be compared. They all bring their value, they bring their personality into the family, and that's what makes it unique. And to talk about Demi may have some diagnosis, and the truth there is that no child that has this diagnosis is the same with the other. You're stealing the joy of your child by comparing with another autistic child or another child that has ADHD. Every child is unique. It's a spectrum, and that's why it's a range. So, as a family, a strong one, it is important to to just respect everybody with their personality and everything they bring on board.
Thank you very much. Thank you for clarifying that. You mentioned that you have 3 children. So let's bring it home a bit. How do you practically support the emotional well being of the siblings within the home? How do you support that while also supporting them as well?
So yeah, the siblings are they're growing strongly into compassionate individuals. They're wise individuals. In fact, at times when they talk, and uh, As much as I have amazing children, every child brings wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience. You may think they're younger than you as the mom, but when they share their own perspective, it's just like 6 and 9. To someone, it may be a 6, and to another, it's a 9. So I allow them to share their perspective, and in sharing it, I'm able to even know what their thoughts are. I'm able to add value. I'm able to correct. I just allow them to express themselves. But in their growing, we need, we needed to, and we need to, because it's an ongoing thing to support them together. The siblings initially had complex emotions. And when I say complex emotions, they loved Amy, but at some point, it was like a bit of a confusion. They were wondering why is it that our brother's behavior was different? They needed the space to feel seen, to understand, to be heard, and to be valued. And also, as their parents, and them being siblings to Jamie, it was important to involve them meaningfully. When I say involve them meaningfully, we let them help with caring. They care with tasks that are age appropriate. And in doing that, we never let them lose their own childhood because they've got their own life to live in doing this. But this also allowed them to build empathy without being burdensome to them. We allow them to grow in their own space. However, we allow them to be part of the journey in looking after their brother. In fact, the sisters are like mother and for Demi. Also, we keep our routines predictable. Demi is very routine, as in he has to follow his routine. So that stability helps the siblings to feel secure, especially when the household is managing complex needs, complex situations. We've been there, they've seen it all, and they're still even seeing. But I must be honest with you that it's not where we used to be. We're not there yet. No, we're not there yet, but it's been a journey. And also, we validate one another's emotions, especially their siblings. We let them know that it's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel sad because even me at times I feel frustrated and at times even feel jealous because when we are praying, we are saying in the name of Jesus, Demi, you are doing this, Demi, Demi, Demi. At some point, we have to even speak with them that no, you're important because what we need to take care, exercise caution in looking after a child with special needs. You don't lose the attention on the sisters, and the sisters are their girls, so they need attention. So it was all right. We validated their emotions. This feelings doesn't make them bad siblings. No, they are not bad siblings. I don't know if they're online, but if they are here or they are not bad siblings. But it just lets us know that they're human. Even me, the mom, at times it gets to me, and I'm sure the dad also. But we validate our emotions. We create a safe space to talk. I mentioned earlier on the family is really a safe space, as in you can say it the way it is, but with respecting one another. So we create a safe space to talk. Regular one-on-one chats are. And my girls also journalize. And when they journalize, in fact, it's like they're expressing what they're going through. At times they bring it to me and we talk about it. In some instances, well, when I feel overwhelmed also, I just hold their hands and we pray. We help them to process their thoughts without fear of judgment. Their dad does a good job because he's a GP, he's a pastor. So I think they just bring it on and we just express it. Then we celebrate their identity. We remind them that they are more than the sibling of David. They are more, they are more than just being the sibling. They have their individuality and we recognize their unique strength. their interests and their achievements, and all the siblings, including Demi, as I said earlier on, they're unique, and we discover them and work alongside with them.
Wow, wow. You've said a whole lot there that I can't even begin to mention all of them. But I just really like how you keep emphasizing on creating a safe space for the family. But in terms of practicality, how do you do this? Do you let them know that they can come to you to talk when they feel overwhelmed or when they feel emotionally down or when they are feeling like, oh, mommy is putting all the attention on Damie? Or how do you do it? Or is it only when they bring the journal to you that you didn't have that conversation? Because how do they know that safe space is there? How do they know they can freely express themselves? Because you also mentioned that they can freely show their emotions. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to cry sometimes. So how do they know that? How do you do that? Or do you guys intentionally like have meetings on a specific day and talk about this so that other mothers here can learn and they can imbibe as well?
We do a few things. We have our family altar,
Oh,
and the family altar is a time where everybody, it could be that they have concerns, they tend to share during that period. Uh, at times during the family altar, what went well and what didn't go well in the course of the day. Another good thing we do is we have like a ritual on Saturday mornings. I think, to be honest, that is that time that we really eat together. And at times we have activities that we don't even get to eat together on the dining table at the same time. But when we do, we ask what went well in the week, what didn't go well in the week. So it's like a check-in, and you're able to know what challenges my child is having, and also befriending them. When you befriend them, in fact, I tell them, I don't just say it once, I say it to them again and again that you can tell mommy, you can tell dad, but I just like it when they can tell me. In fact, there are some things that happen in their school among their girls, they get it, and they share it with me. Despite the fact that I may have some reservations or things I want to say, I try to shut up so that they can let it out. But after they've said everything, that's when I now come in. Maybe later, I don't want to judge them because immediately you start judging them, you start shutting, you start building walls. But rather, I try to connect with them. But they make me understand what is happening in their generation.
hmm.
So I try to see a point of connection in that discussion. We discuss, and maybe later, when they least expect, if I, but they know when I want to do such things. They said I call them maybe their full name, or I call them in a particular way. They're like, what is it? So they are ready to, yeah. Can I tell them that? But why don't you see it this way? So just let them talk. A safe place is where you are not judged. But when you start to judge someone, it's like you're shutting them away from you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that. It's remarkable. And it's so helpful for every parent as well. I really love what you're saying because it sounds like, besides the fact that you've got these family traditions that is working for your family, you're also intentionally creating a sense of love and a sense of belonging and celebrating their uniqueness and getting them involved, even during their daily activities, giving them that listening ear and listening to them and not judging them. It's remarkable. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, what are your hopes for the future in terms of your child, Dami, and in terms of your family generally? What do you hope to see in the near future for them?
Oh, I think for Demi, church, I think it's just identifying a child. Church is very huge for Demi. He loves the church community. At times, he wants us to just drive to go to church, and we tell him church is not happening. So we just drive down to the venue, see the door of the church is closed. We'll come back just to let him know that the door is closed. But you too, we attend, he listens to several programs, which is huge for him. But as a mom, for Demi, uh, to be honest, I just want him to live life in God's purpose for his life. I I don't have the full picture yet. I take a day at a time. So really, I wanted to just live God's purpose for his life, to live a fully independent life. It may look impossible, but with the world, it's impossible. But with God, all things are possible. And he's been the one that has kept us thus far. God is good, is good. So
Thank
to
you.
live God's purpose, but apart from that, to live life to the fullest.
Blessed. Thank you very much for sharing that. Because I was just going to say, for those who um, don't go to church or don't have that church as their own safe spaces or something they look forward to or like to do, what would you tell other parents, to do in that sort of circumstances? What do they look up to? But then you've just mentioned to live up to their full potentials, and also to promote independence, I would say, for every child to be able to live, according to God's purpose for them. Okay, that's fine. So the other question is around your advocacy journey, because in the beginning you spoke about that, saying that's one of the things you did, for your son in terms of advocating throughout the different services that are available for him, social services and all that. What can you say about your advocacy journey? How has this been? How has this impacted on your parenting experiences? Has it been positive, negative? What would you advise other parents that are still struggling to navigate the system, to advocate for their children? What would you say to them from your experiences?
Thank you, Blessing. I would say living the gaps. I have seen firsthand that the system has failed and the system is still failing. It's still failing so many of our amazing children. So whether it's in education, in healthcare, or community inclusion, don't leave it at the mercy of the government. Don't leave it at the mercy of someone out there or the system, because they like it or not, they get paid at the end of the month. But you live with that child for the rest of your life. So there's been several experiences where we were told, uh, maybe in the public, they will tell us to control daily, but it's a different experience to live in the knowledge of all these diagnoses. And it's a different experience to live it, to live the experience. So I take it upon myself to fuel the change that they may require. Anywhere I identify a gap or we identify a gap, we leave the gaps, we'll follow it through and not leave it at the mercy of someone out there. We become the expert. You may be surprised. You you will learn the language of the diagnosis, you will learn the language of the therapist, you learn the right of your child. uh, Suddenly you're the one educating professionals and pushing for better support, because you may think that the professionals, they know it all. No, living with it is different from head knowledge or school education they receive. So you need to become the expert. You take ownership and go out there and launch out and say, this is what my experience has been. Then you speak up, because you must. Advocacy often begins in meetings, in the doctor's office, even in the school, in the playground. I'll go for a parent evening or half session, and someone will be telling me my child is 14, and you'll be telling me that my child's brain is that of a 2 month old or 3 months. So it's right from some meetings that you tell them that you speak up because you need to speak up. Even there was an experience that we had. My daughter, one of my daughters, she did a video. I think it's on my Instagram. It's not a professional one. I think she was 13. Precisely, it was 2019. We went to the shops and they were telling us that we should control Demi. And Demi was, oh my God, Demi was hyper. A child at 13, she was so touched that she had to do a video saying not all disability is visible. I wrote that experience in my book also, From Silence to Story. So you need to talk when you need to talk, in the neighborhood, everywhere, on the playground. Even in the church, there is an amazing place that is important to Demi. Church is an hospital. Some are unwell themselves, and some are well. Even when he's being discriminated against, the siblings will talk. We will speak up because we have Demi's voice. At the moment, he's non-verbal. So we speak up for him. And to have the knowledge, I said earlier on, and I'm saying it again, to have the knowledge is different to live with someone with a diagnosis and living it with one you love dearly. They're two different experiences. And in my advocacy, I am doing it through my storytelling. I'm going about to tell the story. There was a time, once upon a time, I didn't have the nerves to do what I'm doing now. I would have broken down because it was an emotional thing for me. So I share my child's journey. I help others see the humanity behind the label. Because yes, you may say he has autism, he has ADHD, he has learning disability. Continue to label it. There is an human behind all this label. So I breaking down the stigma and building empathy. And that I wrote my first book, From Silence to Story. And I'm glad. Thank you so much, Annie. This is the book. It's online. It's everywhere. I can share the details, but please drop your email. So from silence to story. I was initially silent, but there I shared a lot of my experience as a family. I shared the fact that God is watching over you. He is with you. Instead of staring, God enters your pain and holds your hand. He gets down into it with you. Because at times we ask questions that is there a God there? Is there a God in heaven? Some people I've seen have four boys. None of them are autistic. And the only boy I will have, God. I had questions in my heart. But I needed to get to a place where I could talk and share my story. In the book, I even wrote that, are you waiting on God or God is waiting on you? Because at times we live in denial. At times we are praying and we are just holding hands. But God needs us to step out and do something. So it may be that God is waiting on us. But meanwhile, we decide to keep waiting on God. So I shared several experiences. I can't
Thank
finish
you.
it up in this session. And my second book is going to be launched on the 8th of November. By this time next month, it would have been launched. And it's called Healing Streams. This is sharing daily affirmations I declare into Demi's life. I profess it. I confess it. Demi, you will speak. Yes, it's 14. Some said he may not be able to speak again, but I'm still waiting for that day that we hear his voice. I declare God's words to him. So rather than just declaring it and being selfish, I decided to put it together as a book
Thank you.
where I declare into his life. And also, I my doctorate thesis, the title is Autism in the Workplace, the strategies for inclusion and success. So just pushing for inclusion. Our children cannot be secluded. No, they cannot. I advocate in classrooms, in the playground, in program. It is a life journey for me, sharing of the comfort I've been comforted,
Mm.
comforting one another. So that's why I will keep advocating. I collaborate with the professionals. I become a partner in the care, and not just as a parent, but helping shape the services that truly meet my family's needs. Two other things that I also do that I can remember now is connecting with other families. Your story, my story, becomes a bridge of helping others feel less alone and more empowered. Most of the time, because I've been there, when I see a child with autism, the parents might not have even received the diagnosis. I see it. I'm like, these symptoms are similar to what Demi displayed. I identify them and I take it upon myself to pray for the child and to pray for the parents, even before they get the diagnosis. It may be later that now hear that they now got the diagnosis, but I already knew. But what I just tend to do is just to pray. But it is not in my place to give that parent that, that child, it seems he has diagnosis. No, no mom, no parent wants to hear it from your mouth because they will bind you. They will bind that statement and will say, "Oh, is it because your child is autistic? You are now wanting more to be added to you." No, it's not in your place to open up and tell them, it seems that child has that autism. No, let them discover at their own time. But pray with them, hold their hands. Also, I'm changing hearts and minds one time at
One day at
one
a
time,
time.
one day at a time. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much, sis. You've done so well. Like you've said so much, you've said a lot that we need to come back to you to learn this advocacy skill because it sounds like it's a skill. You're actually living it. You're actually a living testimony of what advocacy is because it sounds like anyone who comes in contact with you will be able to tap from you because of how active you are advocating for them. So thank you very much for sharing with us. And I hope you don't mind if we reach out to you in the future to say, please, we are dealing with school, we are dealing with GP, we are dealing with this therapist. How do we penetrate? How do we, go further to get what we want? But thank you very much for sharing that. Because of our time, I think we'll open up questions for anyone who has a question. If you have a question, just raise your hands or let me know and you can unmute or put it in the chat so that Jumoke can answer all your questions. Someone was asking about Demi's age, but you've already said it, that's 14. So Demi is 14 years old. Thank you for sharing that. Oh yeah, Emmy has answered that actually. Someone also says diagnosis does not define them. God does. Thank you. So glad I joined. Thank you for sharing. So people are actually grateful for your story and for what you've shared today. So if anyone has got a question, let me know. I'll call you to ask or just drop it in the chat. In the meantime, what's one message you would like to give us as families on the same journey with you? What's one message you would like to give to every parent out there, really? Because I think everything you've shared is actually applicable to all homes, to every child. Most of these principles and strategies is applicable to everyone. So, what's one message that you would want to give? One practical tip that you would want families to do?
Oh, I think, thank you. I, to be honest, the journey may be unpredictable. Uh, the child may have special needs or not. Their journey is, you can't predict it. That is why it is a spectrum for those that have autism. No one child, no one autistic child, or no one child, let's forget the diagnosis, is the same with another. I've got three children, I said earlier on, that they're three different beings, but it's filled with moments of deep connection, fierce love, and joy. Your child is worthy. You are capable. In fact, I didn't know I could, but it has just been by the grace and the mercy of God. You are capable, and together you're stronger than you know. Women out there, I salute you. To men also out there, I salute you. We do a great job. I celebrate every small victory. Advocate with courage. Rest where you need to. Rest where you need to. And never underestimate the power of your voice, your love, and your presence. There is a whole community walking beside you, even if you can't always see it. I just really want to thank God for what Annie is doing through this platform. Thank you for all you're doing. I think you should be part of the platform if you have a special need child or you just even want to learn. For parents and carers out there, never compare your child to another. Never, never, please. Your child does well, your child didn't do well. They don't have the same journey. It steals the joy of that child. For others out there without a special need child, please don't be too quick to judge us. Please don't be too quick to judge us. Some say you didn't train your child well, you're not dressed well for your child. A child that you might buy quality clothes for and just choose to wear a particular clothes. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. So don't judge us, please. Be kind to our children and to you, to myself, carers and parents that nurture them. Don't compare. Be kind to yourself. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jumoke. Thank you. And congratulations on your new book. I hope you're going to invite us so that we can share in the joy and also learn a lot from you because you're indeed a powerhouse when it comes to raising children, advocating skills, strategies to implement at home, and a lot more. Please share your joy with us and congratulations on your new book as well. I haven't seen any question in the group. Does anyone have any questions before we round up? So Annie
Yes.
has put our mission in the group. So if you are new to Thriving Beyond the Label, we are Thriving Beyond the Label community and we promote an inclusive society by providing education, practical resources, emotional support to help families navigate raising neurodivergent children. We see professionals as partners on our parenting journey. So you can look at our website, which is in the chat room, if you want to know more about us. So go on with your question, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jumoke. Hello everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Eniola Oyegunle. It would be good if I can turn on the video, right? My name is Eniola Oyegunle. I have the privilege of leading this fantastic group of families under the Travel Beyond the Label community. And Jumoke, I really applaud your boldness and audacity because it takes a lot to be able to come out and share your story. I just have a few questions, if you don't mind, because I'm very big on practicality. We are all Africans, and I already know you know where I'm going with this question. So I would appreciate you if you can just tell us as much as you can. We're all Africans here, the privilege I have meeting different families is I have the privilege of hearing people's stories. And one of some of the common things that we tend to see with African families with raising children with additional needs is that most of the work falls on the mother. The fathers either are living in denial or they are just not as supportive. Do you have such an experience in your own home, or what tips can you share with those that are having that feel like they are alone in this journey? Some people feel like they are single mothers, but they are really not because they are not getting the support from their husband. What advice can you give to people in that category? Thank you very much.
Okay. I think maybe to start with, at times most of us maybe when we even get the diagnosis, you could say you want to bring down your mom or mom-in-law or anybody. At times, I need to just put a caution out there. Some may help you look after your children, but some may end up being another work for you. So as Africans, I think it's good to really be clear. What is your mom coming to do? What is your mom-in-law coming to do? Just to really be clear, because it's a lot of work having a child with special needs. But talking about your specific question, at times it feels overwhelming. I must be honest, it is overwhelming. But one thing that is very important is we women at times we act strong. We are like macho women. So it's important we involve our husbands, carry them along. But the truth there is that in most homes, men, what makes them feel fulfilled is maybe the work or their career that they need to put or put food on the table. In fact, there is a scripture in the Bible says that a man that doesn't provide for his house is more than an infidel. So the man doesn't want to be an infidel. and he's chasing his career, he's chasing everything. The world is seeing it. But we women, we're crying out for help. I've seen instances, you're spot on. In most instances, it's the women that you will see. But I just want to encourage every man out there. Our men are doing well, they're doing a good job. But I think it would be good to just have our men to be more involving. I really thank God for Dami's dad. Yes, being a doctor and being a present dad. But I just really want to encourage men to be more involving because at times it can feel lonely, it can feel overwhelming. Did I not feel overwhelmed as a parent? I'll be lying if I say I didn't. I did. I needed to answer deep questions in my heart. Is it what I did in pregnancy? Is it what I didn't do? But at some point, I had to come to the realization to stop blaming myself. I allowed myself to heal. I stopped living in denial. And it's important to heal because if you don't heal, hurting people hurt others. And most of the time, because you're seeing in the world with a broken lens or a perverted lens, we are not seeing clearly. You're not even seeing that child clearly. So please don't feel overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed, shout for help, cry out for help. And most importantly, if you have faith, cry out to God. But in some instances, you need to cry out to people for your own mental health. Because at times you could get so overwhelmed that you think you're losing your mind. I've been there and I thought I was even going to run mad. But when I sought for help, here I am today. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, Benny.
You've tried, but you know me, I will tease it out. Can you give, can you just give, I know this is asking a lot, and I recognize not everybody. You always like to be the professional, but let's try and break it down. See, there are families that are struggling. I don't know if there's any experience that you can share. You see, I think it might be difficult for you because your husband is involved and because he's, by virtue of his profession, he might have a bit more knowledge, but I want you to imagine if a family that has been crying for help from her husband, and she still feels like she is doing everything by herself. Like she's literally at the point where she either wants to walk out of that marriage because she would rather just know that she's by herself than to feel like she has somebody that is a father and a partner but is not a partner. What advice would you give such a person? Because she's actually crying for help, but the help is not coming.
Hmm. This is so practical and so true. I think really, I think I've experienced it. I need to be honest. I've experienced it because my husband is so amazing. He's busy. He's a pastor. I said it, a GP. He has commitment everywhere and there. And at times that life got to my head. But when I go for activities, they ask me that you're a single mom, you should claim more. In fact, the system encourages you. If you're a single mom, you get a lot from the system. So they will talk to me. I think it's contact or contact carers or something. So they will talk to me that they'll be able to provide people that will help me. But I needed to respect the place of my covenant. And when I say covenant, it's the covenant I made at the altar that yes, these people are telling me that I'm better being a single mom. But the fact that my son still sees the dad, and my husband is not just is involved, he's there. He's not so for him to be there. I don't need to walk out of the marriage. But at times I feel I'm alone. I feel I'm alone, and in that instances, I found a lot of succor in my daughters because in the past I've seen in quotes family friends and so I've learned to draw boundaries. I don't just tell just anybody because when the system has failed you, you're cautious not to experience it again. So my daughters are like my friends. I tell them anything, anything. When I feel overwhelmed, I just tell it to them. And when I tell them, they pray with me. And at times, they give me their own wisdom. And it helps. And most times, they tell me, Mom, stop, stop. And they take on and they look after their brother. And to be fair to their dad, when he's available, I can't kill him. When he's available, it too is there. So it's important, women, when you feel overwhelmed, let there be someone you can talk to, that you can shoulder, that you can weep to, that will not betray you. I've seen some amazing people that I don't even want to go back to them, because if you've been stabbed once, words are powerful. They they can hurt you badly, that they leave a life scar. So you're careful who you share with. But if you've identified that safe net, that safe space, maximize it. Cry for help, and help that will sustain you, not make fun of you. It is important. Identify it and appreciate them. At some point, when I felt overwhelmed, another thing is I needed someone to help me. It was a carer. I almost lost my two girls while I was juggling things. I had an accident where the car somersaulted, and I told myself that I almost lost these children. I spoke with my husband, and he agreed. He's a private person, but despite the fact that he's a private person, he allowed the carer to come into our lives to help us. And I salute her wherever she is now, because she was there when it was it was a lot for me. And at times, as I said, people may say they come to visit you, but you're caring for them again out of the little strength you have. So you need someone to care for you too. And the lady was the one that helped, took Damien like a grandchild, showed him love. Until today, we call her Gogo, because she's more or less like a grandma to Damien and to the siblings also. So
Wow, thank you
yeah.
so much, Jumoke. Sorry, that's my superpower. I know how to get it out. I have one more question. For the sake of the married people here, how do you keep the marriage going? Raising children with additional needs puts a pressure on the marriage. How do you spice up the marriage? What do you do? What are the practical things you do to still ensure that you don't lose that bond with your husband, if you don't mind sharing?
I love the practical questions. Thank you. I want to salute my husband, because I've heard different stories where somebody gives birth to a special need child, and the father will say, Where did this come from? I was counseling a woman, and that broke my heart. My husband is not here today, but I want to salute him, not once as he said that statement, but as raising a special need strained my marriage. Oh, yes, it has. At some point, I even told myself, to be honest, I am a good woman. My husband is a good man, that we are better apart. The only thing that I said earlier on that is still keeping in the marriage is the covenants that we make. Then again, that do not divorce in the Bible, although you can justify reasons for wanting to divorce. So, in a nutshell, as a family, what still keeps our connection is time away. We try to go away. Uh, we deliberately shut down. I think it's my husband that brought that to. This is no wisdom of mine, because the church is there, life is there. And the GP world, I would say, is crazy. Then I work full time also. So I just feel life is just like an autopilot. It's so busy. But what makes us keep that strong connection is we're not perfect beings. I said that and I'm saying it again. But it's about choosing each other regularly, repeatedly, even despite all chaos, just choosing one another. Then joint goals, whether it is improving the routines or planning a future holiday. My husband is very good at that. If it's me, you won't go on holiday because of the bill. But he will put that together. And that, I would say, to be fair to him, even despite his busyness, he plans the holiday. We go away. And when we go away, we have a good time as a family, which helps us dream together, which is strengthening us. But I just need to exercise caution because at times when you want to go on holiday, you're already burnt out. And by the time you go on the holiday, you could extend it. But just deliberately making time out is very good. Then celebrating small wins. We acknowledge each other's efforts and victories, no matter how small. We have not been very good with protecting the couple's times. At times, it's walking in from work. He's catching up with church members, things he needed to do because he works full time. He's a full time pastor. So just juggling that. So as we are both very busy, we try to get away with the holidays. Our family altars is very important. In fact, at times our family altar could be as if we are spilling it out. We are spilling it out to God. You are reporting someone to God in their presence so they know they messed up. Then our weekend meals, that Saturday morning, that Saturday morning is important to us, where we try to eat English breakfast. It may not be full one, but we try. Then we ask what went well, what didn't go well. And my husband loves movies. He loves movies. I think that's how he cools his head. And I think he's quite knowledgeable than me. So when he watches those movies, the girls, I watch Christian movies, Mount Zions and things like that. The children don't really gel with it, so they watch movies with him and they create the bonding. So we just try to do something together. My husband is a sports guy. I don't like sports. So we just try to do what works well with us. We do it together. In fact, purposely at times he will say, let me watch this your Mount Zion movies with you. And we'll watch it together. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you so much.
Does anyone else have any questions before we go? I also want to appreciate you, Jumoke. I know that was hard to actually bring that out, but I want to really applaud your vulnerability. Like you spoke it out, you just put it out there. Like really, really, I could see the inner strength that you carry. I could see you carry a lot of light. You know, there's a lot within you, and I want to say thank you for just giving yourself permission to just share and to just be you. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. And trust me, this is a safe space. So yeah, we all get you, we see you, and you're doing amazingly, amazing well. Seriously. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Does anyone have a question for Jumoke before we leave? I also want to appreciate everyone for coming. Thank you, everyone. We are 16 today here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming to share Njumoke's story, to learn together. Yeah, thank you. And I hope we'll see all of you next time when we meet again. Precious,
Hello.
a question.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have a question. I was trying to type it, but I just said, let me just say it.
All
All
right.
right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jumoke. Thank you so much. It was nice, it was really nice listening to all you had to say. So, you're a pastor's wife. I guess you're a pastor as well. So what in your church, what's in place for kids like Damie in your church? And what do you think churches should do? Should incorporate into their, services to just make it easier for parents that have kids like ours or for families like ours, to feel part of the, as part of the church? That's the
God,
question. Thank you.
God bless you. That's a huge question. In fact, in this book, I wrote it there. Churches meeting and there is no disability toilet, no disability access. You're already telling them you're not welcome.
Mm,
So that's why we parents, we shouldn't be quiet. And as a pastor, I advocate for that. In every meeting, there should be a quiet room, a sensory room for our children, not just sensory room, special their children's teacher. People should be trained to understand special needs. And another fantastic thing in our church, I said, what I've been through, we see maybe because I have autistic children, and because of that, it's clear. When we were going to church, I won't mention names now. It was as if we were put like an outcast so that my Demi will not run to the altar. In Christ's Image Assembly in Northampton, they will leave your child runs to the altar. As much, the ushers may be there to stop him. The pastor, my husband, or even myself, we don't tell ushers to tell all these children. They're welcome. It's a safe place for them because if the parents are feeling embarrassed, they will come another time. Then apart from that, the noise level, and that's why sensory room is important. There could be overload, especially for the African community. When it's so noisy, the children just want to run away. So there has to be a sensory room. Teachers need to understand what the special needs children are going through. So you don't think that they are not well trained. That's the word I used to hear. I didn't train him very well. But meanwhile, he has special needs. There are some behavioral issues. So the church is aware of it. We are looking into it. And in fact, the church is planning to build another center just to take into consideration these needs that the special needs children have. In fact, we have them in their, I don't want to say tents now. There are more now joining the church because they feel comfortable. Because you go to some churches, they will label, they can even want to conduct deliverance for your child. And you're wondering, how far? So it's good for us that are Christians, pastors, to speak up for these children. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jumoke. Thanks, Precious, for asking the question. Does anyone else have? Okay, someone has put something in the chat. Let me quickly read that. Just some advice. I don't have a child with SEN, but work in a SEN school. Take schools to task to ensure they are providing section of the EHCP. It is legal.
If I'm not mistaken, that may be Pastor Bola.
It is me.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Bless you. God bless you. Thanks for joining. Please, sorry to put you on the spot, but if we can use her, oh God, she's an amazing woman. She's a pastor. She's a vice principal. In fact, she forwarded my second book. Anything about your special needs child, Pastor Bola will help you. She's reviewed Jamie's EHCP. Don't let me go on and on. We
No, it's
always do
okay.
examples.
This is about you this evening.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Pastor Bola, for sharing
Yeah.
that.
No, I
Thank
check
you.
is section F, sorry. So make sure that section F, you look at it carefully and closely and make sure you're asking the schools. You know, I don't know how, if you know how much the government pays schools to have a special educational needs child. Some of them is up to 68,000 a year, some up to 90K. So make sure that that money is used on that child. Yeah, don't let them fob you off. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you
No.
for sharing that. I'm sure our leader, Annie, has taken note of that.
You can be sure we'll get her contact.
Yes, please reach out to
We
her.
should have a special session for Pastor Bola.
Thank you for joining us. Does anyone else have any other advice or question? Because we could have some professionals here that will give us more tips. So yeah, questions or advice. And if none, we want to appreciate everyone again for coming. Thank you very much, Jumoke, for sharing your story with us. And I think we have about 2 emails within the group. So Annie will reach out to both of you that have sent your email, including mine. I'm going to send my email as well because I would love to read the book. So thank you, Jumoke, and thank you, Annie. Oh, there's something coming up. We really need that session with Pastor Bola. Okay, so that's Sophia already saying we need Pastor Bola here. Okay, that's fine because they are treating us true. So, Annie, we need Pastor Bola next time, please. Thank you, everybody. And if there is nothing else, have a lovely rest of your evening and a lovely weekend, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks. God
Bye.
bless you,
Thank
Jumoke.
you. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Follow us on all available social media channels.